Yeah, right now I want to bring up Mitzi Ambrosio, our Wonder Woman herself.
Yeah.
Mitzi, take away.
Thank you, Roy, and Happy New Year, everybody. Happy,
Yes.
Happy New Year. So 2020 was is a year that I think when we started, we really want to forget. But actually, there's a lot of good things that came out of 2020. The number one thing when it comes to LifeWave for me is we really proved that LifeWave is an essential business. You don't have to
Yeah.
leave home, right? And you're doing
Yeah.
business all over the world. So it's that was my number one thing. And personally, you just know what's more important. You just focus on what really is important. So I think it was a very transformative year. I can't believe I'm saying it was a very transformative year. Was.
Yeah.
So let's carry on what we got from 2020 and, make 21, happen for everybody and bring as many people as we can with us. So my LifeWave journey started, oh, wow, 3 years after my injury as a nurse.
Mm.
So by that time, I was, it was almost impossible for me to drive. And I was on 13 different medications. I was seeing the chiropractor, I was seeing acupuncturist, and nothing really helped me. So all those times, I never thought I will not go back to work. And that's because everybody that had been injured at the hospital came back to work. Later, I realized they came back to work because they had no other choice. They had to come back to work, or they go on disability forever, or so. And the thing is, these days, to get on permanent disability, you're making like the stimulus checks we're getting now. That's what you're going to make every month.
Sad.
and and the thing with that is they cap your income. So I was deemed permanently disabled, but I refused the disability because I've already found LifeWave, and I knew that if I could, if I just paid it forward like like what I have been doing, I could make it. Um, it wasn't easy, guys. But the very first thing that got me through is knowing that after 3 years of, I'm going to show you this. This is actually all the medications I've had.
Wow.
All of these.
Whoa.
See all in here. All right. So from no medications to 13 different kinds, by the time I was patched, I already had a hole in my stomach. I had hot flashes. Every day I would decide which antacid I'd be taking, Zantac, Nexium, all of these things. And here's the kicker: as a nurse, I knew about the side effects, but guess what? Behind my mind, in the back of my mind, I never thought it would happen to me. No, right now I truly understand when somebody comes up to me and say, "Oh, I've had 3 epidurals this year," like nonchalantly saying that it's the best thing they've ever done. And I'm asking somebody, have you looked at the side effects? Oh yeah, the doctor, told me. And what are they? And they would list the side effects, and they would have a look like, "Oh, that's not going to happen to me." So when you have somebody in front of you that does not seem to care about side effects, it's okay, because I was like that. But guess what? Read the side effects with them, because once the doctor tells them, and oh, I don't know, less than 1% will actually read what the side effects are. So basically, as Rick was saying, when Aeon came out, it was a game changer for all of us in LifeWave.
Yes.
guess what? My main issue was, I mean, I had pain all over the body because I have a slip disc, lower back, my neck was messed up. I was actually attacked. I was kicked in my back by one of my patients. So I got thrown across the room. My stomach hit a couch. So I had a whiplash on my neck. And so, but my worst pain was sciatica. So one day I was at a real estate seminar and somebody asked me, how come you're always sitting at the back? I am like, guess what? I have to stand up every 10 minutes. Otherwise, I go in spasm. I can't even walk after if I don't, stretch myself. And then she showed me, she was wearing a patch right here, and she was talking about glutathione. She was letting me know that she had cancer and that this is helping her detox, and all of that. Did I listen? No, because what she was saying did not apply to me. So make sure you only talk about a part of your story after they already told you about their own story. Because they will only listen if it has anything to do with them. All right. So, and then she said, guess what? I think they have a patch that will help with pain. And I lit up. I got patched that night. Ice wave. Right now, we can get rid of pain within 1 minute. It took 20 minutes. And I thought it was the best thing in the whole wide world. The presentation started, and then I got patched. The presentation went on, and then they checked on me. And my mind was like, I hate to admit it, but this dang little stickers really worked. So I think it was a Wednesday or a Thursday I first got patched. Okay, mind you, but in my 3rd year, I was on workers' comp on my 3rd year. I was recently divorced. I recently bought a house and could not live there because it was a two-story house. So I had to live with my sister. So I had to rent that house out. I mean, that's how crazy it was. So when I got patched that Wednesday or Thursday, I believe, by Saturday, I gathered my whole family.
Yeah.
And from then on, everybody has been patched. My mom is 84. She works full-time still. My sister is a pharmacist. Everybody in my family is in the medical field. When you get up and you feel like, oh, I have a sore throat. Oh, I feel tired. None of us will say, oh, let me grab a Tylenol. Everybody in my family would call, Mitzi, what patch do I use? So, including my sister, the pharmacist. So basically, it takes a little bit of time to transition to be like that. But know that your medicine cabinet can be replaced. The patch that we actually use the most at home is energy patches. It is the true acupuncture without the needle, right? So when I got patched, I was behind the wheel within 24 hours, totally pain-free. And I never, ever took any pain medication ever since, ever again. So that's amazing already, right? But that weekend I gathered everybody, and then March came along, and that's when I decided, you know what? I had a choice whether to go back to work or do LifeWave. Mind you, I did not know LifeWave was an MLM. I had no idea what MLM was. Somebody, said, well, this worked for you. You can earn money if you help somebody. I am like, shoot, count me in. I'm helping people at the hospital, but really what I'm doing is I'm giving them the pills and watching for side effects. That's really what the main job I had as a nurse. So the doctors can give them more pills. And then finally, I actually called LifeWave and got to talk to David and got invited to one of our monthly meeting. I guess, I don't know. Roy, were you guys doing it monthly back then?
Yeah,
And
weekly and monthly.
I actually I said, you know what? Can you please introduce me to somebody who's making money out of this? Because I've never heard of this thing. Are you for real? I mean, you know, for a company and the inventor actually would talk to you. That's pretty amazing. But once I did my due diligence, I did all of that. I never looked back. The moment I stepped at the corporate office, a very tiny conference room back then, and met David, I really, for me, it was more like to thank him for giving my children their mother back. For me, it was to pay it forward. And I never looked back. So by July, we were in the Philippines. I think there were about 10 of us. I was a newbie. I didn't know what I was doing, but we did a 31-day tour. And guess what? My youngest son was born premature. All of my kids were born premature, but my youngest son, I've never let him sleep over anywhere else because he had asthma. As a nurse, knowing his condition, I never let him out of my sight. But that was the first time I left him for 31 days with my sister because one single pair of energy patches, he never needed any of his medication.
Yeah, that's true.
And he just graduated in May from college, played tennis throughout high school and college, and he's never, ever had to worry about it. And I've never had to worry about that. So that's of course, this is why you have to be a product of your product. You gotta recruit yourself first, right? Yeah. Otherwise, you cannot. Okay, so who here doesn't like the word recruit? Guys, that's what we do. That's what we do. I mean, you can disguise it as anything else, but you know, but that's it really for me. I just never looked back. I just said, this is it for me. And every time I feel like this is hard, I look back and say, I spent 40 hours a week to earn $5,000 a month. Actually, plus 3 hours a day because of the driving. And that's 43 hours a week to earn $5,000. And I was away from my family that, you know, every time. You want to make more money? Yes, you can do overtime, but that means what? Almost 50% tax? Tax 50% after your overtime. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Mitzi. That is a great story.
There's a couple of slides I want to actually show because this is something that in the beginning when we were doing presentations, I would actually tell Roy, do not talk about the money. I mean,
I remember that.
Me back then. It's kind of crazy. But here's everybody think, what have you gotten from LifeWave that has nothing to do with money? Right? Make your list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? And then what have you gotten from MLM that had nothing to do with money? You know, I would say at least 95% of my downlines, I've never met them. Without LifeWave, I've never would have not, you know, been involved in their lives. So, right, and this is how you create your why. Later on, when somebody tells you, I don't want to join LifeWave because it's an MLM.
Yeah.
So it is because we are human, you get hurt and you know all of that, but you'll get over it. Especially if it's a friend of yours that say that, you know, it's MLM. I don't want anything to do with it. And that's because they're ignorant. They really don't know what it is. So make sure you have your why. And of course, write down what your earnings from LifeWave had gotten you or you would like to get later. Then you have your why. So when there's something goes wrong, you will never quit, right?
Yeah.
So hard, it's the people you're really looking for. You're looking for, number one, is the product user. And guess what? You're looking for yourself first. You got to recruit yourself first to use the product. You're looking for somebody who has a desire to help others, to pay it forward. This is not in order. And then you look for somebody who needs to improve their financial situation. How about somebody who hates their job? There's no need for explanation on this. Just look at their Facebook. So somebody who's really successful, but they're never around their family. Somebody who has a business mindset. Someone who's already a network marketer. Who else can add to that? Roy, Lorenzo, Michael, Rick. Who else?
Anybody that breathes.
Okay, that is true. Be intentional.
Yeah.
Right? So basically, like I said, you're being tested in the beginning so you can have a testimony. You got to be on authorship. That's the very first step.
That's right.
Means you have commitment to use the patch. That's it. Because you cannot be calling your upline at 2 a.m. and then when we ask you, are you on authorship? No, right? You gotta do the first step. So desire to help it. So have you guys heard of the saying, the sin of the desert? This is something, you know, something is great. You know, LifeWave is great, but you're not telling anybody. It is something, you know, where the water is. You're in Egypt in the desert and you're not telling anybody where to get the water. That is sin of the desert. It's kind of crazy, right? And everything else is really self-explanatory.
Yeah.
So now how do you know once you've found your 5? Because you really only need in the beginning to find 5. This is how you know you've found your 5. Because they're calling you regularly. That means they're using the patches and they're sharing the patches. Mm-hmm. The desire to learn more, they're always at the meetings. They're always at the annual conference. If you are in LifeWave and you say you want to earn income and you're not attending the annual conference, you think your downline will attend? No.
That's
no
right.
one will attend if you don't attend. And you're not supporting the company as a whole. So everybody, please, let's win this. Once you register, put Roy Surgiano as our team leader so we can win. We can win an event with David as our special guest.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So right now, this is at 4 o'clock is for our guests. We've been seeing that not a lot of guests actually come on to the 4 o'clock ones. So if you don't have a guest, you are here to learn how to present. Take notes. What did Roy say about energy enhancer? What did Roy say about harnessing? So train the trainer. Make the most of it. When you see a presentation, you put yourself, and you've seen a lot of us present, Lorenzo, you know, Roy, everybody presents. Then you just model which type of presentation you like and practice it. When I started, I lined up the kids in the living room. And one by one, minute after minute, they all disappear. It's kind of crazy, but you just, you know, have to bring guests, guys. When you attend by yourself, you're building your upline's business. When you bring your own guests, you're building not only your business, but also your downline's business. This is the beauty with LifeWave. When you build your downline, you're building everybody else. Because of our binary, we're stacked on top of each other. It's so crazy. So when we say about inviting, there are different types of people. There are those who are an announcer. What do you think is an announcer? Oh, they just text. They just, share it on their Facebook. You're just announcing something. Guess what? When you're an inviter, you actually take time to say something about, hey, come and learn about stem cells. Hey, this is what I was talking to you about that got rid of my pain. Now my hair is growing and all of that. Now a promoter is actually somebody who would text, who would message you, who would tell you why you should go, and who would confirm with you if you're going and send you a text message 15 minutes later. And here is what we get excited about when one of our team members really create their event. We are jumping up and down like it's New Year's. So in I don't know in other parts of Asia, but in the Philippines, on New Year's Day, we're supposed to jump up and down so we could grow more. That doesn't work.
Is that the way we do it in Indonesia, Aloysius?
Is that right? So this is it. So now check for yourself. Is this you? Right? Because it starts with you. We love questions, guys. We truly, truly get excited when you ask questions. So this is it. So do you want somebody like this? You got to do it yourself, right? So let's see here. But this is really who is a gem in your team. Somebody who is all in. Somebody who is all in doesn't mean they're full-time. Somebody all in means they have the level of commitment and they're not gonna quit and go home and badmouth you on a bad day. That's who you really want. It doesn't matter if they have 6 hours a week. I'd rather take care of that person and support them versus somebody who does not work, doesn't do anything, and you really can't even get them to, do it. That's what all in means. Who cares if they have 2 hours a week, but they're always do what they say, right? So that's what all in means. We know how we get paid. Learn how you get paid. It's kind of hard to get excited when you didn't even know you made $50, right? So learn that. Anyway, I'm going to actually stop there.
Thank you, Mitzi.